First and foremost, thank you to Tinashe's Hair Company for sponsoring this video. I'm going to be doing a highly requested video, and it has been approved. Today, I'm going to be making a handmade wig. I know you guys are used to seeing me doing a wig with the sewing machine, but I'm just going to show you how to do this handmade wig with a closure. If you haven't seen my handmade frontal video, I'm going to attach the link for that below. So you have a handmade frontal video and you have a handmade closure video now. So you guys can leave me alone about that. But first things is first, you're going to put your dome cap on the canvas head. I'm using a 22-inch circumference canvas head because that's my size and the wig is for me, obviously. And you're just going to start to sew the closure on. I always use this same sewing technique. As you guys know by now, it's the same sewing technique. Either I'm doing it on top or underneath. After you've sewed your closure on, you're going to move on to sewing down the tracks. If you guys haven't seen my sewing machine video, you guys already know that I stretch the cap out completely. The reason you do this is because you want your cap to fit the best way possible. Of course, the tracks come bundled up together and rolled up. And when it comes down to doubling your wefts, it just depends on how long the bundles are. These bundles are pretty long, so I'm going to double the tracks. Whenever you're starting and ending, you're always going to go through the weft 2 times and then sew. You'll see what I'm doing. Just pay attention. Since this is a beginner-friendly video, I'm going to recommend that you guys start off by doing single tracks only. If this is your first time making a wig or your first few times making a wig, I recommend that you do not double your wefts first. I need you to get the feel of things. I need you to try to see how long does it take you to make a wig? How many wefts does it take you to make a wig? How many times do you have to thread your needle? Like, once you get comfortable with making wigs, it's going to be like a second nature. It's honestly very hard for me to try to explain to you guys certain things just because I don't have scientific methods of why I do things. I just do it. Like, I don't know why I double the tracks. I double the tracks, one, because it's quicker, but also you want to fit all of the hair on the wig because you don't want a thin wig. But when it comes down to doubling the wefts, I don't know, like, oh, I only double one bundle, or I only double 2 bundles. Sometimes I double all the bundles. It all comes down to which hair company you're going to be sticking with, how long their bundles are, and how full their bundles are. Some bundles come really long, but it weighs less and it doesn't have a lot of hair on it. Some bundles come really short and it has a lot of hair. So it just depends on the company, honestly. But this company in particular, this is a very good company to start off with a beginner wig, especially when it comes down to the hair being enough to make a wig. Another thing that I want to say is once you get comfortable making a wig, it's going to become so fast. Like, you can make a wig within an hour. But my first few times making wigs by hand, it took me literally like 3 to 4 hours to make a wig. And I don't always pin the tracks down. I'm showing you guys this because it's very beginner friendly for you to sew your, not sew your bundles down, but to pin your bundles down as you're sewing. That is going to allow you to know exactly where you're placing your tracks, and it's going to be an easier transition. This is what I'm talking about. You've probably seen me do it a few times by now, but this is what I mean by going through the weft 2 times. I already went through it 1 time. This is the second time, actually going through the weft. Then you're just going to continue with the same sewing method that I've been showing you guys. This is also a very beginner-friendly tip. Once you get down to the needle being too short, you're going to go ahead and cut the thread and make some knots. Sewing the tracks on is very straightforward. It's literally going from side to side, side to side. Yes, I cut every single track on every row because of the simple fact I don't want a humpy, bumpy, lumpy, dumpy wig. And I always tell you guys that, yes, I cut every single track. No, it's not going to make the hair shed more. All hair is going to shed. Like, that's a myth saying, oh, if you cut the tracks, it's going to make the hair shed. That's a lie. But anywho, once you get close to the closure, you're never going to sew on your lace, whether it's a closure or a frontal. You're just going to sew directly in front of it. Like I said, you're going to keep going from side to side. When you get down up there to the closure, follow my steps. Like I told you guys, if I don't know how to explain something, I apologize, but please just pay attention to the video. This is going to be my last track that is going to even go by the closure. Once you get that last track down, note how I'm looping it all the way around, going up by the closure one more time on both sides. Once you do that, you're going to follow my same exact steps in this next clip. Here we are, almost to the finish line. Follow my steps. Once you get all the way by the closure and you've finished on both sides, you're literally just gonna go horizontally from side to side now. And the wig will finish itself up. It's not hard. It's nothing that you need to think about. It's all gonna come together correctly. As long as you follow these same exact steps, it's all gonna come together. The wig is completioso. I don't know if that's a word, but the wig is complete. You're going to just go ahead and cut from underneath where the closure lays, the excess cap that you do not need anymore. And once that's done, you can attach an elastic band if you want to, but closure wigs fit pretty tight and a pretty perfect fit where you don't really need an elastic band. But this is how it looks on the inside. It's still neat. Whether it's sewing machine method or the handmade method, it's still going to be neat as long as you do your part to make it that way. And you're just going to go ahead, create your part, get some mousse, lay it down, let it dry. And you can purchase one of my head wraps at hairbyerickaj.com. I'm going to attach the link. These are very handy when it comes down to laying down your closures, your frontals, your baby hairs, wrapping down your natural edges, anything. And now I'm going to do something very lazy. You guys can do this if you want to. You don't have to, but this is just a lazy way of bleaching knots just because I didn't want to bleach the knots, but it still looks good. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. See you next time.